Happy Wednesday, friends. I see people are starting to get on. I hope your week is going well. We're halfway there. Mine has been quite busy. This weekend I have my Creative Escape weekend that I'm hosting for about 60 people in Cincinnati from Friday through Monday. It's one of two that I do each year in the Cincinnati area, and I'm really looking forward to it. Everybody brings projects and it's just so much fun and exciting, and it feels like a reunion each time, getting to see old friends again, but there's always some new people, so getting to know new people as well. And then I also provide them with some Stampin' Up! Products and a tutorial for make and takes that I've prepared for them. And that's always fun too, to incorporate sharing my own business and my own projects with them as part of the Creative Escape weekend. But nonetheless, lots of fun, lots of fellowship, friendship, laughter, good food. So really looking forward to it, and just about ready, which is great. Packing the car is the next part, and that's always a little tricky, but I've gotten better and better and perfected it as the years have gone on. So that's the bulk of my week. I got another class to go out today. So I'm pleased that that got out before I leave tomorrow. A quick reminder, today, October 5th, is the very last day to sign up for the Sweet Candy Canes gift card holder class to go. And I've got a sample of 2 of the 4 gift cards. You'll actually make 8. Here's the pocket for the gift card. You'll actually make 8 gift cards with this class to go, 2 each of 4 designs. This one is my favorite of the 4 designs. And there's a pocket right in the middle there. I love that design. And even if it weren't a gift card holder, still super cute and easy to make. So that is the Sweet Candy Canes gift card holder, October 5th, last day to order that. And information about that can be found on my blog, stampinpeace.com. And it's also gone out in emails. So if you are a newsletter subscriber, you would have seen it there. But stampinpeace.com is sort of where you can find everything that's going on in the Stampin' Piece studio. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a Sunburst card. And here are 2 I made earlier today. And we're not going to make these same ones. We're actually going to make some with the Rustic Harvest suite. So making Sunburst cards with a fall theme. But I think you'll find that with this demonstration, the Sunburst cards really are quite easy to make. They're a great way to show off designer series paper. They're a great way to mix and match DSP, colors, patterns, all of that. And you really can use them for any occasion at all. So let's get started on that. I'm going to flip my camera around now. And while I do that, please share this live video and invite others to join us for tonight's card making demonstration. There we go. My cord got stuck. Okay, so I just want to reiterate that we are using the Rustic Harvest suite today. It is page 48 and 49 and 50 of our July to December mini catalog. So that's where you can find the products that I'll be using tonight. And if you aren't familiar with the Rustic Harvest suite, I'll just show you. Many of you did purchase this class to go where you made, let me think, 2 sets of 10 cards each for this. So I think that's right. Or maybe it was just 10. I guess it was just 10. Sorry about that. 10, 1 each of the 10 different ones. And this class was quite a few weeks ago, so you can't purchase the class anymore, but if you love that Rustic Harvest Suite, you can purchase a PDF tutorial for that project on stampinpiece.com. All you have to do is go to stampinpiece.com. In the red bar at the top, you simply click on PDF Store. And I just dropped all my strips on the floor. But the PDF Store is really easy to work on stampinpiece.com. You click on PDF Store. All the PDFs are listed in alphabetical order by their title. And once you purchase them, they're available for you to download immediately. So it's a real convenient process for you as well. So for this project, you will need a card base. I didn't pick that card base out yet because I'm going to let all of you choose the color for that card base. You'll need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock that measure 5 1/4 by 4 inches. If you're using DSP that has vanilla in it instead of white, use vanilla. And then you'll also need a piece of cardstock that measures 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So I've already got a number of strips of the Rustic Harvest DSP here. Some were scraps, some I cut. For this, and I'll show you in my samples. In this sample of my Starburst, I used the same width for all of my strips. They all started out as 2-inch strips. Actually, this is a 2-inch strip. So on this one, they all started out the same size, okay? 2-inch widths like this. On this Starburst card, I used varying widths from 1 inch to 1 1/2 to 2 inches. So you can play with it and decide which you prefer, which you like best. But I just pulled out a number of strips that I had. This is more than enough. Typically, you would need about, and again, depending on the varying sizes you use, you would need about like 2-inch width, probably about 5 to 6. If you're using a lot of thin ones, 1 1/2 or 1 inch, you're going to need some more, but you can always cut more strips as you go along. It's also a nice way to use up some of those scraps that we all seem to accumulate as we're using our designer series paper. So this is another way to get the most you can out of your packs of designer series paper. Now for each of these, and for this particular Sunburst, you want them probably around 5 inches long. You want them to be able to extend over the cardstock that we're putting them on. Now, if you would start your Sunburst way up here, you would want to account for the length. Some of these would not be long enough. Okay, this one could be. So depending on where you start your Starburst is going to determine if you need some of the longer strips. But typically 5 1/2 inches long is going to be good for you. So once you have these strips cut, you're going to cut them on the diagonal. So I just put the opposite corners right into my cutting groove. It really doesn't matter if you go this way or this way, it all works out the same. So just line up those opposite corners right in the cutting groove and slide your blade across. And like I said, I know I have more than enough here. It might even be enough for me to make 2 cards. But especially when I'm using different colors, whereas my first 2 cards, the samples I showed you, are pretty much monochromatic. They're in the blues and whites, right? Here I have a lot more colors and patterns that I'm working with. So I wanted to just have more than enough readily available. Okay, I don't know why I can't get this right in here. Let me try again. I was going to say, if I had my Post-it notes handy, this would be a perfect time to use a Post-it note to hold that strip in place. There we go. I'm going to cut some with the pumpkins. And I've got some with the gourds here. But I just want a nice variety. And I would say non-directional patterns are really going to work best for this. But you can, if it's directional, you can make that work. Like the pumpkins were directional. And maybe I'll do one of these. But this looks like more than enough. So I'm going to cut this short strip and then I'm going to stomp. But I know I probably have plenty cut. But if I want to work on some of the bright crushed curry or more of the mossy green, mossy meadow, I have that right there. Oops, before I put that away. On your 5 by 3 3/4 piece of cardstock, you want to take a pencil and just mark the center. So 2.5 is half of 5 inches. So I'm just making that little mark so I know where I want to begin my sunburst. If you want your sunburst going more like this, you're going to work from the top and probably start in the middle. You don't have to start in the middle, but especially when you're learning the technique, I think it's very helpful to start in the middle. Now I'm using my silicone craft sheet. This is so that any glue that goes beyond where I want it to will be here and not on my crafting surface. And then, well, you'll see, this cleans up. You can literally wipe away the dried glue on here. So it's a great thing to have, a great little staple in the classroom, in the craft room. I was a teacher at one time, believe it or not. But why is that popping in my head now? I don't know. I guess this is kind of like a craft room or a classroom, but we do crafts. Okay, so I like to start by putting one of my triangles right in the center. And you can eyeball it. You don't have to measure anything like that. So I'm going to take it all the way to the top edge and just kind of center it there. It's a little wonky looking at it because of the shape of the triangle, but you can put your hand there and see that it's pretty well centered. Doesn't have to be exact. And then from there, I'm just going to start placing pieces around. Now, I prefer to have an idea where things are going before I actually start gluing the rest of the triangles down. And one thing too is where I'm starting my sunburst, I want to be sure that I'm getting DSP right up to that top edge. The other thing is I prefer to have corners covered up. So I really would not place my triangles like this. I prefer to, and again, it's a matter of preference. It's not really a right or wrong. It's just a matter of preference, what looks pleasing to you. But I always like to cover up the corners with a piece of the DSP. And let's see, what can I put? How about this? Some of the gourds. Just like that. That one's a little wide. Let me see if I can. But you get the idea. We just kind of move these around. They don't have to be in exact position, but you just, before you start gluing, you want to have an idea of where you're going. Now it's okay on the top and all the sides if they go over. So if I need to go beyond that top edge for spacing reasons, it's not going to be a problem. And once we have everything glued, then we will do the trimming. We'll trim off all the excess at the end. And yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Again, you're just, if you want to do a specific pattern, you can, but just do what looks pleasing to you. I felt like I needed something a little bit brighter in there. And then I'll go like this, and maybe I'll put in another green. And maybe I'll finish off with more of the gourds. And then a green on the edge. All right. So now I'm just going to start gluing, and I like to work from the middle out. So I'm just going to slide these off, keeping them in the same order that I started, or that I placed them in. And then I'm going to start gluing. When you're gluing, I think multi-purpose glue is the best choice for this project because it allows you to move the pieces around if you want to or need to. Whoops, that I did not mean to do. There we go. And obviously, these pieces are going to go well beyond the edge, so you don't want to take your glue all the way to the edge of your triangle. And if you go past the point of where you need the glue, it's not a problem because it's going right on that silicone craft sheet. As you can see, the back of this Rustic Harvest DSP is all black and white, which is always fun to work with. I like doing black and white with a pop of color. Anybody else like that? And it's not all fall patterns either, which I also like because you can use different things throughout the whole year, right? Some of these would make great masculine cards. I've used with sympathy cards. So really versatile. And then of course the back side being all black and white gives you a totally different theme. Anybody else ready for fall? Today actually felt hot in Central Ohio. It really wasn't. It was up to about 70 degrees, which we've been getting, the high's been probably like low 60s in Central Ohio. Cold in the morning, like 40s, but today was 38 in the morning. And I went out for a late walk today. I actually didn't go out till about 5 o'clock to walk. And the sun was beating down and it was hot. Just because we haven't had a real hot sunny day for a while. So it wasn't terrible, but I think it felt worse just because I was in the cool weather mode. But just being out in the fresh air and the sunshine, blue sky, it was gorgeous. Can't help but feel better when you're out in the fresh air. All right, so this is what I have. And here you can see where some of that adhesive, that glue, went beyond my strips. And when this dries, I'm literally just going to peel it off, wipe it off with my fingertips. It's that easy. That's why everybody needs a silicone craft sheet, because if I get that glue on here, I have a sticky mess. It's tacky, it's hard to scrub off. So keep your nice surfaces nice and use your silicone craft sheet. Now I'm just going to, you can see I flipped to the back side, and I just put the edge of my paper snips right along the edge of the cardstock and snip off all the excess DSP. You can also do this with a paper trimmer, but if you have glue, exposed adhesive, it's easier to clean that off your paper snips than it is to clean it off your paper trimmer. So that's why I prefer to use the paper snips for this step. And I will remember to clean those paper snips later. You can save your scraps, but if there's any that have adhesive on, I just throw those away, or if they're just too small. So here we have our beautiful fall, autumn sunburst. Okay, so let's put this together for a card. I'm going to go ahead and put this, mount this on basic white. This measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches, but you could make the border smaller if you want. Just go down about 1/8 of an inch. So here you can see the difference. I put the Starburst on a white 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock, and this one's on a let me think, 4 7/8 by, is that right? 5 by 3 3/4. No, it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So it's really just a matter of personal preference. And you don't necessarily have to use white for the background of your Starburst or the matte layer that you're putting it on. You can certainly choose to perhaps put it on one of the bright colors, that maybe this crushed curry, maybe the Cajun craze, maybe you want something more subtle like the mossy meadow or the black. Anything in here would be very nice. Or maybe you're making lots of them and you want to change it up. And okay, so you tell me, we have all these gorgeous fall colors in here. What would you choose to use as a card base? Would you go mossy meadow, black, Cajun craze, crushed curry? What do you think? And while you're thinking about that, or commenting your answer, I'm going to pull out my Leaf Label and Amber Gem Combo Pack. It's filled with all these fun leaf-shaped labels that do have a hole in them, so they make great gift tags. They would be great for making napkin rings or something like that for your Thanksgiving table. You could put letters on them, Happy Fall or Happy Thanksgiving, and make a little banner. Just a fun little thing to use. And I'm going to use some linen thread. Okay, what are you saying here? Cajun mossy, Cajun mossy. Oh, listen, of course it would be an even split. I'm going to go with Cajun because that's what came up first. But again, any color would be awesome. Any of those colors. Fall is so easy, isn't it? I just think to make fall cards is super easy because it's so easy to make different color combinations. Now, one thing that if you watch me a lot, you probably know this. Whenever I cut one card base, I cut two. The reason being, let me move these. The reason being that I can score this whole sheet of cardstock, score it once, and then turn it and cut it once, and I have two card bases. So I'll use one tonight, and then the other I'll just put back in my package to use with another project later. I'm going to go ahead and put my basic white layer on the inside. And something to consider is on my samples, I had my Sunburst facing the same direction. You can put it any which way you want. You can put it this way. You can put it this way. You can make it a horizontal card. Whatever is your preference. What is it? Suits your fancy. And I'm just going to, because I like this setup for this particular thing. Or maybe if I were using a long sentiment, I might want to do something like this and put that long sentiment across here. So consider how you're finishing off your card before you actually put your Sunburst on the card front, because how you're finishing it off or what sentiment you're using may determine which way you want to adhere your Starburst to your card front. Yes, unlimited color and design. All right, I have the Hello Harvest stamp set, which is part of that Rustic Harvest suite. And I just want to pull out one of the sentiments. I really like this one, You Are Missed, for people I don't see often, relatives or friends. My daughter living in Cincinnati, although she was here the last 2 weekends. And I'll be in Cincinnati this weekend, so she's going to drop into the Creative Escape weekend and say hello and maybe have dinner with me, that sort of thing. So I could do You Are Missed, but I don't know. What do you think? You Are Such a Blessing, Hello, or You Are Missed? What would you use? Any thoughts? I'm going to go ahead and make a bow with my linen thread. It's probably my favorite trim to have in my studio because it's super versatile. If you need just a little something and you can't decide, this is a good option. Always a good option. Oh, hello. Okay, well, I'm glad you first two people agreed. It makes it easier. Makes it easier for me because I like to please everybody. So this way I feel good. Nobody's getting left out. All right, and I want this to really stand out. I'm going to actually stamp it with my black. I was going to do early espresso, but I think I'm going to go with black because of the black that is in the Designer Series paper. It's not on there very straight. Just make sure it's inked up well. Nice thing about the leaf is you can turn it over. There is a slightly different color when you turn it over. And actually, I'm going to use the back side for my practice. Yes, perfect. Just in case that ink's not dry, I'm putting it on the back side. I'm going to put it on my silicone mat. Okay, I'm going to give that a moment to dry. And I want to adhere this with dimensionals, of course. I can see that black is still kind of wet on there. So I'm going to do this very carefully. All right, that's getting stuck to me. Again, I don't want to lay it flat because I can see, can you see that? That ink is still kind of shiny. That means it's still wet. On this, on these leaves, it can take a little bit longer for the ink to dry. Be careful not to touch it on the other side too. It's hard to get these off when I'm holding it in the air. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay it down and hold it with 2 fingers so I don't move it. So I don't smear any of the ink on the other side. There we go. See how I got some ink on there? You can see it. Did get a little smudge, I guess, from the other ink. But that's okay. It looks rustic. And I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put a dot of glue right in that hole of the leaf. And then I'm going to put that down and just hold it in place for a few seconds with a clear block. Have any of you used that trick? This is a great way to adhere bows when they're very thin, because you have that tiny knot. Just put a drop of glue on and then set a clear block on top for a few seconds and you're good to go. It'll be dry without you getting your fingers all sticky and that sort of thing. Okay, and now I'm just going to add some of these amber gems. Again, these are part of the leaf. And Amber Gems combo pack. These come in 2 sizes. They're faceted. They're just, I know you're not getting the best look at these from the camera, but they're faceted, so they have flat sides. They're rounded, but they have that round top is made of tiny little flat faceted surfaces, okay? So they really pick up the light. I love them. In fact, I love them so much. This is one thing I will put in a request. Stampin' Up! Demonstrators can put in requests to Stampin' Up! Bring these Amber Gems back, whatever we want to say about products. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But it's a nice thing that Stampin' Up! Gives us the opportunity as demonstrators to provide feedback. And by the way, you as demonstrators can provide feedback too. If you have specific feedback, you can talk to your demonstrator and have them relay a message. But the easiest way, especially in terms of products and ordering, is when you're placing an online order, there's an area that allows you to provide feedback. All right, so there's our card. What do you think? I love it. In fact, I don't have time tonight, but I want to use up the rest of this and make some more fall cards. There's something about fall cards. I love making fall cards. In fact, I always make way more than I need too. After the Facebook Live, where I showed people how to stamp their own DSP with the soft seedling stamp set, I made up a whole bunch more just because I love them. And I feel the same way about this. But Of course, this one I'm going to have to give away to one lucky viewer. So if you love this card and would like your name entered into the drawing to receive this card, please type in the comments now, Sunburst, okay? Sunburst, S-U-N-B-U-R-S-T, Sunburst. And just a reminder that you can find all of the products for the Rustic Harvest Suite in the I was going to say July to December mini catalog. All right, July to December mini catalog. Oh, and of course, one more thing. Please don't forget about our fabulous joining offer going on this month. Normally, in a starter kit, you get to choose $125 of product. With this starter kit promotion, you get to choose $155 of product, and it's the same price as the regular starter kit. So $99 plus tax, it's all going to ship free. So right there, the savings on shipping alone is probably around $17, $18 on $155 of product. All right. But I want to show you this. If you were with me at Monday's Facebook Live, you may have seen this at the end. Or maybe I did at the beginning. I'm not sure. With the starter kit promotion, you get to choose $170 or $155 of product, just as if you are normally shopping for $155 of product. You always pick what you want in our starter kit, which is amazing. It's 100% customizable. You're going to pay $99 plus tax. Where I live, tax is 7.5%. So if I were purchasing the starter kit today, I would pay $106.42. Now, if I were not purchasing a starter kit, but purchasing the same $155 of product, I would pay $17.05 in tax or in shipping. I would pay $12.90 in tax, and the total would be $184.95. I don't know about you, but I definitely like this price better. So if you have ever thought about it, even if you just want to be a hobby stamper and enjoy a discount, please consider joining my team. I would love to have you. Many of my team members are hobby stampers and love it and have been around a long time because they enjoy the discount. And some of them have a customer or two to help them keep up their minimums. The minimum is $300 per quarter. Oh, and I should tell you this. The minimum, your first quarter minimum, actually starts with your very first full quarter. Now, the new quarter just started October 1st, so we're already into a partial quarter. So anybody that joins right now would have until, let's see, the end of March to make that first quarterly minimum of $300. So even if you're considering buying, you think you might buy about that much before the end of March, and that way too, you get in on celebration early. You get the pre-order period in December, where demonstrators can pre-order what's going to be in the new January to June mini catalog. And it's just fun. We have a great community. I love my team. We're all about sharing and caring and growing and learning together. And there is no pressure from me for hosting a class or a Stampin' Up! Party. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. If you do want to, I'm happy to assist you in any way I can. And so whatever it is you want from being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I can help you with that. All right. And again, my team, we have from 100% hobby demonstrators who just want the discount. They don't ever want to sell or host an event, all the way up to a few business builders like me and everybody in between. Some people may have one class a month, and that helps them maintain their minimums without them being their own best customer. Beth asks, how long does one need to remain a demonstrator? You don't need to remain a demonstrator for any specific length of time. It's always up to you. You can choose to stop anytime you want. What I would say now, if you get in now with that starter kit plus deal, you don't have to have your quarterly minimum of $300 until March. If you don't have it by March, nothing happens. You're just no longer considered a demonstrator. If you do have that $300 minimum by the end of March, you would just, that makes you good for the next quarter. So we go by quarters. My very first team member ever is still on my team 10 plus years later. I've got a few others that have been with me 10 years, and I've got the newest ones have probably been on just a couple of months. Some people come and go, and others stay on. It really is up to you. Stampin' Up! Does not say you have to remain a demonstrator. We never say that, okay? I hope that answers your question, Beth. Does that clarify? Okay. And I'm going to be honest here. The majority of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, you know what? I need to flip this camera because I'm looking at a screen instead of people, and that kind of bothers me. 1 second. Oh. Wait. There we go. I think it's something like, I want to say like 80% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators are actually hobby demonstrators, meaning they enjoy the discount and the pre-orders. Oh, one thing too, and this is very surprising because I have never been in direct sales before, and I certainly had no intention of staying in it or building a business, but you know, it's history now. I'm in it. But I just assumed that every direct sales company rewarded their consultants the same way. In other words, if you're a customer, you can get sales, you can enjoy the free shipping day, you earn Stampin' rewards on your orders, that sort of thing. What Stampin' Up! Does for our demonstrators is we get all of those things that customers get, or that we got as customers, but now we get the discount on top of it. That means even if we purchase something from the clearance rack, we're getting our discount off the clearance rack price. So that's something to consider as well. I'm going to look and see, are there more questions? Sue, thank you. I like the way thank you. I feel I'm good at connecting with people. It's extremely important to me. And you know, I don't think of myself as being extraordinary in that regard. I really just treat people the way I want to be treated. That is 100% truth. 100% truth. Oh, Tony, you're chasing grandkids. That sounds fine. Or fun. I can't wait till the time I get to do that. I'm going to scroll back and see if there's any questions I missed. Beth, did I answer your question well? Okay. You know, honestly, I'm going to be honest and say, and you may have heard me say this before if you've been following me for a while, I'm not doing my job unless I offer you the starter kit because of the value in it. That wouldn't be fair to me to say, well, I want to keep you as a customer, instead of saying, hey, you can save so much by purchasing the starter kit plus deal right now, right? And again, that's me just treating people the way I think everybody should be treated. So there's no pressure from me. I love working with my team, and I love helping them get from their own demonstratorship whatever it is. And some of them, it's the sense of community, getting together for the Christmas party, joining the Zooms where we connect with each other. Because now, since pandemic, my team has grown to include people all across the United States. And even since I moved, I lived 17 years in Cincinnati and just moved to Columbus 4 years ago. So my team and my customer base was all in Cincinnati, and then I left. And I'm happy to say many of them are still with me, and I've been able to grow and connect with people across the country because of what I do online and social media. Okay. Thanks to all of you who shared. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for spending part of your Wednesday evening with me. I'm going to say good night for now. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I've got some few things to finish up for the Creative Escape weekend, and then I might start actually packing some of these things in my car. Or I should do laundry so that I can pack my weekend bag. Quick reminder, I will not, because I will be at the Creative Escape weekend, Friday through Monday, you will not have a formal Facebook Live on Friday afternoon or Monday afternoon. So it'll be about a week until I meet up with you here live again for a creative demonstration. And somebody send me a text or an email or something. I always forget. I'm the type of person that gets absorbed in what I'm doing. I try to be very present with the people I'm with whatever activity I'm involved in. So these weekends go on and they're so fun, and I forget to take pictures. I forget to go live and say, hey, this is what it's like at a Creative Escape weekend. Hey, these are the make and takes we're doing at the Creative Escape weekend. So go ahead. If you think of it, send me an email, send me a text, a message, something that says, hey, we want to see what you're doing at the Creative Escape weekend, and I'll do a quick post or maybe a quick impromptu Facebook Live. All right, everybody, have a good night and enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Happy stamping.